As a manager, you might be spending too much time explaining things to the team, guiding them, and repeating things over and over. This directly affects your ability to scale and can often make your team feel overly micromanaged, wasting a lot of time that you don't really have. You may have tried explaining the process in a document, only to find that your team reads it once, but forgets about it later when they start working. But what if you could manage and guide your team asynchronously? What if processes could guide and manage teams for you? Not only will you save hundreds of hours and reduce a lot of the waste created by repeating things, but you'll also help the team have a common understanding of expectations, enabling them to tap into your knowledge when needed and empowering them to make decisions. To do this, we need you to change one single habit. It's just a matter of changing how you do things, and within a week, you will start seeing the results. Let me give you 3 examples. The first one is a simple example of how you might give feedback to a team member on how to better run a meeting. Secondly, how to explain a process for a new project, product, client, or whatever you are working on. And third, how to answer questions in a way that is scalable so you don't have to repeat your answer in the future. Let's start with the first one. Let's say you have a team member who often adds meetings to people's calendars. But when you attend the meeting, it seems poorly prepared, stakeholders barely say anything, and stakeholders often feel like they are wasting their time. You have provided feedback in the past, but now I invite you to move that feedback into a process that can be used by this team member and other team members, a template that helps them get their meeting ready, engage stakeholders, and learn from it. For example, a template for when he or she is presenting a new proposal. Maybe you encourage them to ask a few questions or provide a template for when they ask for approval. What should they ask for or provide to stakeholder when they ask them to get a proposal approved? They may need to provide context, define the risks, the opportunities, share the details about costs, etc. Give them a template. Now, when they prepare a meeting, you can instruct them to use that template directly, slightly changing it to adapt to the specific topic they are talking about. This helps the team visualize how to put it into practice and feel more confident about it. Now, the second option is that you may be working on a project, with a client, on a strategy, or anything else, and you may meet with your team to discuss next steps, expectations, and all the details. They may even message you repeatedly asking questions, or even worse, they don't, and end up doing the wrong thing. Or maybe you have a document where you explain the process. If you have a process, that is wonderful. The problem is that processes in documents don't work. People may just read it once and forget about it. So instead of hoping that people ask you questions or expecting that people take notes during your meeting or even read your document where you explain the process, make the process guide them in real time while they work. Almost as if they could tap into your knowledge when they are working. Almost as if you could guide them asynchronously. This will look like this. Whatever your expectations and plans are, or even the minimum things your team has to evaluate or do, don't add them in a document. Add them as a smart process. Add the main milestones and things they have to do. Then inside, provide a template, and within the template, you can even provide tips and share best practices, almost if you could share the steps or a recipe for success. Then you can even assign people and add due dates. Now you are probably thinking, oh, that is a lot of work. The truth is that you are already doing this. It's just not scalable. You are repeating it over and over and over. It takes the same amount of time to explain it and write your notes from a meeting than to make it into a scalable process. The best part is that you can already find templates. You can edit those, and you can reuse yours. The second time your team has to do something similar to this, it will take you a few minutes and your team will be fully informed. I always like to give the example of onboarding new team members. I used to have to spend a few weeks explaining new team members about the company, the product, how we work, rules, etc. Now I have it ready in a process. People are guided. They can learn about the company and the team. They can learn about how we work, etc. I have visibility on what they are informed about and what not. Now onboarding a new team member takes me 1 hour and 2 minutes, 1 hour to meet with them and welcome them, and 2 mine to update the template. Finally, You are probably reached by your team over and over, asking you questions about expectations, deliverables, and other details. Sometimes, this leads to having silo conversations and repeating the same thing later to someone else. If someone asks you a question, consider that maybe other people have the same question, and that in the future, that will be a question too. So don't respond to it in that message. Add it to the process so everyone has access to that tip or whatever information they requested, but more importantly, ensure that question is automatically answered in the future. As you can see, this is not going to take you more time. You are currently already answering the questions. You are just changing how you answer it so everyone has access to it and helps you in the future. You will easily see how in a month you are starting to see that you have a lot more time, that your team feels more confident about their job, and that you finally can grow and scale.